We have the whole band of Conception with us today. About to speak. It's as I see you. It's Arve, it's Roy, it's Tore, and Ingar.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Correct.
Fantastic. The whole
We're
band
together for the
is
first time post-COVID.
yes, fantastic, and you are doing rehearsals.
Yeah. First one.
Are there for live shows or for new music?
And then we started to prepare for the upcoming tour. So we're brushing off dust from where we left off before the COVID. And you know, since I live in Sweden and the rest of the guys in Norway, we didn't have the possibility to get together in all this time. So yeah, finally, and it's really exciting to play through the songs again and get the groove back.
I don't know how it is in Greece,
Yeah.
but everything opened up again last Saturday.
Yeah.
Up here at least.
We were it's pretty okay in Greece since summer because we had to have tourists for the summer. Greece is a tourist country, so we had everything open in the middle of June. But before that, trust me, we couldn't even get out of our house without sending an SMS and asking for permission to go outside our house, which was pretty strict, I could say.
Yeah.
That's very strict. That happened for at least 4 or 5 months.
That's rough.
If I can say that's half a year, that's too long.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Parallel Minds because we'll speak about something that you are preparing this week that is going to be released this week, and starting from the obvious question that is being done to you. You come from Norway, and most Norwegian metal bands are extreme metal bands. Did this help you or hindered you in order to sign a record contract, a contract with a record label? Because you were playing melodic prog metal music, and everybody knew that Norway is well known for the extreme metal paths of music.
I think when we signed back in '93, that whole black metal scene had not really come out yet. I think that was like a year after or something. So I don't think we were not connected at all with that. But of course, that inflicted on the whole metal scene, absolutely.
At least over the coming years after that. But I think when we worked on Parallel Minds, the waters were still enough for us to be able to maneuver, quite smoothly. But over the years, the grunge genre came flooding in and really took a lot of attention. So that was not helpful.
Yeah.
So, of course, black metal scene was already there, I guess, from the late '80s, but it hadn't come out yet, like in a wider sense. Yeah.
The churches in Norway were still intact.
They were still intact.
So for the album, I knew that you had sent more than 100 demos to the labels. Was it the demo 1992 or the next one that you sent in order to be signed?
It was the demo of '92 that grabbed Noise's attention. The story we told was that Carl Walterbach, the owner at the time, he was going to have a drive in his car with a friend, and he just pulled some demos out of a box they had sitting in the office, and it was Soliloquy. I think it was the first on that tape that caught his ears.
That was what he was doing. I had spoken with Carl a few years ago, and he told me he used to listen to demos while driving. the demos of the band and if some band caught his attention while driving, then he was looking more into it. But let's stick to this demo that it had 2 unreleased so far conception songs, or a bit of unreleased. I can describe this: Where Roses Fade, which has never appeared again, and Black on Black, which has been released on a compilation CD of a Norwegian journalist, I think. It's Thor Rune Hangen, as my as I have written over here. Why haven't you released those songs on any record?
Black on Black was released on that compilation I talk about, and then we also did another version of it. That was the Japanese bonus track for the Japanese version of Parallel Minds.
Mm-hmm. And Where Roses Fade?
What you're asking is why didn't it end up on the Parallel Minds album? That, or Where Roses Fade? But the thing is, in this period we were very productive, and you know, we made a lot of new songs, and you know, at the end of the day we had to make a selection for which songs to put on the actual album, and those two didn't make it. I mean, Black on Black already had been released, so we, you know, yeah.
It's also a matter of composing the album itself, which songs fit with each other and which order, and how much up and down and back and forth.
And Black on Black featured some more flamenco guitar by you, Tore, something that you have really enjoyed doing from the beginning of conception and with any project that you have done. Is that so?
Yeah, I love it. I love the Spanish guitars. They're so full of passion.
Mm-hmm. We'll come to Spanish guitar again when we speak about Roll the Fire. So let's go to the point that Karl Walterbach from Noise Records has listened to your stuff, has decided to sign conception to Modern Music, to Noise Records, however it's called. It's sometimes it's Noise, sometimes it's Modern Music, everything. I have every single possibility on the record here. And he came to see you perform live in Norway in a festival called Rotfoss Rock Festival with Ronnie Letecro from TNT. Can you describe us the whole story?
Well, things went real quickly from when he first heard that tape in his car. So he quickly contacted us and made an appointment to come up here and watch this show that we were doing together with what was it, Rockfire, Ronnie Letecro's former band, and a couple of other bands, and you know, things went really quickly from that point on. He liked the songs that he heard on the demo. He liked the new songs that we presented live. He liked the live performance, and he was super eager to get us signed. And I think we signed just like a month or so later.
Did you? You also had. I think that you had negotiations with other labels, and it's multinational labels, so Polygram, Chrysalis. Did you reach a point of negotiation with other labels, or you just decided that Noise's proposal was the best, and you proceeded with them?
We had a few offers that we turned down of various reasons, not only because of the offer itself, but also what was very important for us was our artistic freedom. And some labels they wanted us to sound in a certain way. For example, one major label wanted to sign us on the My Decision track if we would write songs like My Decision. But My Decision was the song we played, but not we didn't want to define a style out of that. That would not be conception. So then we turned that down, and we were working like parallel, like because we did DIY release. We released ourselves The Last Sunset. Most CDs that we sent out was for press. We tried to do everything, you know, learning by doing, and from our own basement, you know, get things rolling. And we caught up with some underground distributions. So we exported the records to Japan, and we got some kind of a thing going. And then we were waiting also till the right offer came up, and that turned out to be Noise.
Noise. Noise is, I can say, notorious for its contracts. Almost all the bands that have signed with Noise have to say something about the contracts they signed, which most probably would return nothing to you. Did you decide to sign with Noise despite the fact that reading the contract, you saw that it might be very, very difficult for you to make any money, or you just wanted to release your record on the best possible label?
We wanted a label that understood who we were and what we wanted to do, and who would be wanting to support us for who we are, and that was it. We didn't think much about money at that time. But what was really great for us when we signed is that we got enough money so we could build a little studio, and so they really helped us to provide for us so we could be more creative and could really do our music in a more practical way.
And they really let us control every aspect of you know, doing a band like that. I also think it's not that uncommon for you know, fresh bands that are coming out to sign deals that are not necessarily, you know, optimal. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, when you are young and not so well known, you just want to get your music out, to find an outlet for your music, especially if it's a big label, a label that you think that will help you boost your name in the next records.
Yeah, and like I said, things went really quickly. So the way Carl worked and the way Modern Music worked with us in that, you know, initial period was very it assured us that, or it made us feel that they were really eager to have us, and they were making things happening, you know, so that we would come to a final, you know, contract that would be signable. And that in itself, I think, shows devotion from a label like that.
Yeah, and they gave you a very decent budget to record the album, and they helped you hire a very good producer for the band, Tommy Newton. How did you reach the? How did you choose Tommy Newton? What was the main reason for that? Was that they just proposed him to you and you agreed, or you had listened to his previous works and you said, we want Tommy Newton for the record?
Well, actually, we were like, we're going to produce ourselves. And so we hadn't really thought that much about getting a producer. And then they talked us into, maybe we want to check it out. Maybe it could be a good thing. All right. So we said, okay, well, come with some proposals. And they threw in a few names. We spoke to, I think we boiled down, spoke to a couple, one of which was Tommy. And then we ended up with Tommy Newton. It sounded like he also understood and could be able to enhance our expression, what we wanted to do, and take it to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Back at this time, you had Hans Christian playing keyboards, and as I see on the back of the album, he was also in the picture. But finally, you didn't decide to have him, to recruit him as a permanent member. Why did that happen? You just wanted to be the four of you that I see now, and have a keyboard player as a session one, or did something else happen?
Well, we already had like a couple of years behind us as a 4-piece band, and that had worked real well for us. And then we included Hans Christian. He participated on a couple of songs for Parallel Minds, and you know, he felt like a nice contribution to the constellation at the time. But you know, there were certain issues, let's say, during the production of Parallel Minds that made us feel that, okay, maybe it's better we just, you know, remain a 4-piece band after all, and so we just decided that was also a mutual decision, you know, between us and Hans Christian, so there was no bad blood in any way as such, but we really felt that that 4-piece constellation was perfect. Still is.
Mm-hmm. Hearing the initial demo of Roll the Fire, I couldn't say I was surprised by the flamenco part in the middle of the song, the flamenco section. But this section was finally excluded from the song. Was it a decision made by Tommy Newton because you already had flamenco guitar on the album, and the label wanted this song to be the lead single of the album, so they wanted it more compact, more to the point?
When we decided to go with Tommy, he came up to Norway. I think we spent like a week or 10 days or something in a rehearsal room.
Yeah.
And then we were working on we were playing through the songs. We were also like together trying to decide what tracks, because we had much more tracks than just those who went on the album. And then we would look into the arrangement for some of those to try to enhance the song a little more. So yes, to get it more compact. I don't really remember details around it, but I guess it was like with the rest that it's probably Tommy's idea to let's cut it down. We don't need one solo before the second. He's more song oriented, like I said, and we would check it out and agree that yeah, this featured the song better. I have to say, listening back to it today, I think it was a wise decision. Sometimes it can be a cool part, but it might not really, you know, enhance the total of the song.
Yeah, although this part is very cool, I think that is something different from the other song.
Yeah.
And that's why a good producer is paid for, to give his suggestions to the band and have some things in and have some things out of the songs. Yeah. That's his job. Most of the times he excludes parts, not brings in new parts, but that's his job.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And now this week, I think on Friday, you are going to release Roll the Fire 2.0 version. A song that is more in the 2021 sound of Conception. I could say more atmospheric, groovier. Certainly, it has a different flavor. And can you tell us more about this release? Which what is when it's going to be released?
Set. Well, that contains, well, of course, State of Deception album, but then it's also the State of Deception instrumental versions. There's so much happening in the music that you don't really hear when you have the full package. It also allows people to be Roy, so they can do karaoke. So, and then, of course, what was for us is most exciting. Then we have an album verse of new material, some studio tracks and some live tracks, and some live tracks from our back catalog and new tracks.
I think it's worth mentioning that the 6 or 7 live tracks that are on there are from the first gig that we did in almost a couple of decades. From those initial gigs here in Gjøvik. So those are caught in a very special moment of our careers.
Yeah. Will it contain in any way this very beautiful thing that you're doing on your Facebook page? Will it contain the history of conception in any format?
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to contain a lot more than just music. There's going to be the history of conception, also more than what is already out there. The full story with lots of extra photos.
A lot of personal footage, yeah.
There's going to be like science stuff, and I can't even remember all the stuff we're planning on putting into that box, but it's going to be worth the money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I'm not wrong, after the release, before the release of the album, you toured with Rage, with Gamma Ray, who had just released the Genius, if I'm not wrong, and HELICON. This too was melodic metal strikes again or something, and this was released. Part of your performance was released on the Power of Metal live CD. How was it to go on tour? I think before the release, even before the release of the album, with Kai Hansen and Gamma Ray, and with Rage that had already released more than 10 albums.
That was awesome. I mean, that was also part of the post-talk signing of the contract that made us want to go with modern music. They promised to put us out on a proper tour right away. And prior to this, we had only had maybe like 3, 4 really really amateurish local shows, and then we were thrown out on this big tour, with the full-blown nightliner thing, and straight out there with crowds of 1,500, 3,000 people, and it was such a humongous shift over from what we've been doing the last couple of years before that. So yeah, I mean, that was really like being thrown out there, but we learned so much that first period because we didn't really take all the small steps before we went on to those bigger stages. But that was cool. That was that was a very rewarding period. After working real hard 3-4 years and be able to experience something like that. We already felt like super rock stars, and that we'd accomplished everything that could be accomplished. We're top of the world! Yay!
I was super excited.
So I guess, I guess this album fulfilled your expectations then, as it was the kind of your debut album, because so far very few people had listened to The Last Sunset. For almost everybody out of Norway, it was Conception's debut album, The Parallel Minds.
For a lot of people, that was the first thing they heard from us. Yeah, absolutely, you're
right. So I would like from each one of you to tell me.
You're breaking up again.
At least your picture is freezing, Sakis.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So what I'd like from each one of you is to tell me your 3 best tracks from the album.
You mean the old catalog?
Parallel Minds?
No, from Parallel Minds. Yeah.
Parallel Minds. Okay.
And give us a small excuse for your picks.
I can start with the roll.
Starting
I
from-
think that's my favorite song, I think, from the album, because maybe mostly because of the groove, and it's very much me in that song, I think. And yeah, Silent Crying, of course, it's a favorite, and maybe I think the Soliloquy, the last three.
Trilogy?
The trilogy.
Yeah.
I also like the
Epic.
trilogy
Because of
quite a lot.
lots of feelings and yeah.
Mhm.
And of course, from rehearsal and from making these songs, it's yeah, I think that's came out very much.
Yeah. Ingar, your favorite tracks?
I think it's very difficult to pick out some special songs, but for sure, Roll the Fire is also definitely one of my favorites. I also like the more melodic and more this more progressive songs, but I guess deep in my heart, maybe with the more metal it is, the better it sounds to me, especially in this period. But it's difficult to choose other songs. Arve mentioned Soliloquy, the trilogy. I also like that song a lot. That's actually one of the songs, if I go back to Parallel Minds and just pick a few songs to listen to nowadays, Soliloquy is maybe one of the songs I would choose then.
Yeah. And the third one?
My decision, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's metal. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. And Tora and Roy, your choices?
Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to be boring and repeat those guys. Because Roll the Fire, definitely, I really like the energy of that, and Soliloquy. And I remember that also being a very special track to write and to create the whole process. I really like the dynamics of that and the whole kind of musical storyline of that track. And Silent Crying, also great lyric.
Yeah, I was the same as everybody else. Roll the Fire is probably the first one, and Silent Crying, I think, is both from a musical and lyrical standpoint, or viewpoint. I feel that song has it all, and still a song that I